Yo, what up? What's poppin'? This is the General Thoughts Podcast, Season 2. I'm here today with my man, my brother, Omar Jeanette, a.k.a. ONINESIX, the General, Street Generals Publishing, the whole movement. What's poppin'?
Ain't nothing, man. You know, it's another day, another dollar.
Another day, another dollar, man. You know, last week we had Whip Wop on. That was interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
A very, very
Yeah, it was a very nostalgic, a very nostalgic joint. I was kind of like,
yeah.
just caught up in the nostalgia. I know I was kind of like absent from that episode, but listening to the old school stories, I just was listening.
Yeah. Ain't nothing like the 90s.
Nah, man, not at all. Not
Ain't
at all.
nothing like the fucking 90s, man. But today, we're here to talk about freedom. I made a post about a month ago, a little over a month ago, and my followers on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they was going crazy. They thought I was on my way out.
Right.
Well, we actually we still waiting on a ruling that's coming down any day now.
Right.
The reason for that post was because I feel like the greatest currency is freedom.
For sure.
There's no greater currency than freedom.
Most definitely.
And at that point, when I made that post a little over a month ago, that's what I was thinking. Like, what is the greatest currency known to man?
Right.
I asked that question to a lot of my comrades, a lot of dudes who've been exonerated, overturned their life sentences, even a couple of my female friends. And everybody, I asked you, everybody had a different response, a different answer. Nobody's was the same.
No. I mean, as it wouldn't be, you know what I mean? Everybody's different, so everybody values different things.
I heard the euro is the strongest form of currency.
Right.
I heard myself. That person said himself.
Right.
I heard love. I heard the greenback. I heard gold.
Right.
And the answers go on and on and on. But I stand on the greatest currency being freedom for many reasons.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Well, being that I have my freedom, I think that money, even if I didn't, I think that money would be top of the list for me, just because I feel like money grants you freedom, right? Like, if you're free, money gives you the option to not have to work for anybody, to take vacations when you want, to not worry about where your next meal coming from, not worry about where you're going to live, all of those things that normal people that worry about money, that have their freedom, worry about.
Freedom.
No, let me say one more. And in jail, if you were like you wrongfully convicted, your hands are kind of tied without money as well, because
that's true.
You can't have legal representation unless you're extraordinaire like Book De Niro, to get in that law library and become like one of the great legal minds. You know what I mean?
That's one of my AKAs. For those who don't know, that's one of my AKAs behind the G-War, the extraordinary gangster. Not because I'm the most gangster motherfucker, but because I go the hardest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I agree with Omar that the perspectives, the placement, where you are in life and society does decide or determine what the greatest currency to you is.
Right.
For me, I feel like it's freedom because I got to think about our civil rights leaders and what they fought for.
Right.
They fought for the right to vote, the right to bear arms, the right to be free, the right to go to whatever school you wanted to go to. There was a such thing as busing.
Right.
Busing meant that you went to whatever school we decided you go to,
Right.
and you had no choice. It meant to be able to eat where you want to eat, drink water where you want to drink water, sit where you want to sit at on a bus. That's what the civil rights leaders fought for, freedom.
Right.
And last season I said if the civil rights leaders of the 60s and the 70s was alive today, they would be fighting for justice and equality within the judicial system.
Right.
Because this is the one place that America can still be racist and not really receive backlash.
That's true. I mean, it was kind of like the afterthought of slavery that invented the industrial prison system. Anyway, right? It was a way
Absolutely.
for them to still have
Absolutely.
slaves
Absolutely.
without having legal recourse for it.
Absolutely. It went from the slave codes to the
Mhm.
black codes to the crime codes.
Right.
So the slave codes was what they used to enforce the law to keep you in bondage. Once 1865 came and we realized that slavery had been abolished, they created another law called the black codes.
Right.
So the black codes was it enabled what was considered patriots at the time to enforce the law against black people who were not living or living up to standard. They could take you and put you back on a plantation and make you work, but now they had to pay you.
Right.
That's what the black codes was about, right?
Right.
And then you look forward to the crimes codes, you know, and it's the similar language in all of these codes, and it affects one race more than any other race, the historically deprived race, black people.
Right.
So for me, when I thought about that, I said the greatest form of currency to me, and this is how I ended my last book, my newest book that I just turned in a few days ago. The
Right.
greatest form of currency is freedom. Even when you go back to slavery days from 1619 to 1865, that is what our people wanted the most.
Right.
They didn't want to go hang out in the fields at the speakeasy.
Mhm.
They didn't want better food. They didn't want better treatment. They wanted a free mind and free will.
Right. That, the thing I think about that too is like I feel like that came to the detriment of, even though they wanted those things, they wanted integration like with with the whites, and they wanted the option to be able to do that. But I felt like without that, when they didn't give us that, when we weren't allowed to partake in those activities with them, we created our own industries. We had our own bus lines, we had our own cab services, we had our own restaurants. And I feel like the want to be included in what they had
Right.
diminished and destroyed what we were building as a
I agree.
community.
I agree. You go back to Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Right.
you know what I mean? And
Right.
we know what happened there a little
Right.
over 100 years ago. Black Wall Street existed. And Black Wall Street was burned to ashes.
Right.
And but that's what they wanted. They wanted to be free, free from
Hmm. And
what
it was working.
what
And it was working.
societal what was considered societal norm.
Right.
at that time, you know, and we can go on and on and
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
you know, and everybody's gonna see it differently, but I'm blessed and I'm fortunate. I'm blessed and I'm fortunate to be able to talk to dudes who spent 20, 25, 30
Mhm.
years in prison, wrongfully convicted. And I take great pleasure in it. I take great pleasure in being part of that community and having fought with them while they were still behind the G wall
Right.
and you know, being embraced by them as they enjoy their freedom as well as their riches.
Yeah.
Um, and freedom again, freedom allows for them to campaign for dudes who haven't been freed yet.
Right.
Freedom allows for them to um, be there for their families.
Yeah.
And if you took a survey, probably half the prison population would say, I'd rather be free with nothing
Right.
than to be lit and in prison.
You think it'll be even, like a 50-50 split?
I mean, yeah, because we all have different perspectives, we all have different paradigms, we all have different perceptions of reality.
Right.
But money, you know, again, gold, the euro, the greenback,
Yeah.
that's money. And then, I stood alone and I worked, I was trying to convince people that it's freedom. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I think it would be 50-50. What you think?
I think once it is a dynamic that's like that's up for debate just because of the amount of time somebody would have, right? Like if somebody got life, then I think that they would much rather have the freedom than the money to take care of their family.
Right.
But if somebody had like a 10 years, 20 years, I think some of
Okay.
those people may go for the money because if they could have the money now, they'd be like, oh, I could sit for 10, 20, as long as I got the bread when I get out there, or I could take care of my family. You know, I feel like there are people that's like that. Me, I choose the freedom. I rather,
You
if
can
I
do
had to
you
go,
can do you can do everything with freedom.
yeah,
You know how many women tell me, "Oh man, you could be my man if you was out here."
right,
Freedom,
yeah, yeah,
freedom.
right,
You know, it is directly associated with physical contact or physical pleasure.
right,
You know what I'm saying? And make no mistake, there are females who be like, I will ride for you whether you was here with me or not. You know what I'm saying?
right,
But the reality is, you know, um, most women would prefer that you be there with them.
right,
And you all know I've been going almost 27 joints.
yeah,
I've never had a problem meeting women. I think
right.
when I put things in perspective, keeping the woman is solely predicated on freedom. No?
I mean,
Nah.
unless you had that money, man. I mean, I feel like look at Gucci Mane and Keisha Keough, right?
Yeah,
She held it down while he did all that time. You know,
that's a fact.
if he
That's
didn't
a
have that
whole
money,
fact.
I don't know if she wouldn't be with Future or one of them other dudes. You know what I mean? That's no
Well,
shot at her. You know what I mean? But
maybe,
I'm just saying, like, I
maybe
know that
future.
women like
I
security.
mean, not future. Maybe Gucci man is an exceptional person, and we know you make exceptions for exceptional people.
Right. That's true. That's true. That's true.
You know,
That's
I'm
true.
blessed though. I'm blessed to be able to have connections to my past.
Yeah.
Present moments and future endeavors.
Yeah.
But it's so much more to be had once I'm free.
Oh man, it's lit. Sky's the limit once you free. Sky's the
I
limit for
control
sure.
my destiny.
Yeah,
I am the designer of my destiny.
for sure. For sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I become Alexander McQueen. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
become Prada. I become Gucci. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Become the designer of your own destiny with freedom.
Yeah. That's true.
You know?
I
Decide
mean,
whether or not you want to accept no. You decide whether or not you want to have limits put on you.
mhm.
You decide what you want to do with your career.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, same could be said for money as well. I feel like once again, you get that money, you get the ability to do all those things, right? Nobody
Right.
could tell you no because no is a construct for people that ask for things, right?
Right.
That's not something that applies to somebody that is willing to pay for things or to create their own things with because they had the money to do so. You know what I mean? Somebody might tell you no, be like, "Hey, build me this house." Somebody could tell you no, but there's always somebody that wants that amount that you offer that first person. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
you know what I mean. So it's not
Big
no,
facts.
it's not a limitation on the no's. You know what I mean? With no money, no mean no. You know what I mean? Because you dependent on that yes. You know what I mean? Or you can
True.
get 100 no's. You know what I mean? I mean, you could get that with money
True.
too, but it's less likely.
True. True.
Mm.
Most Americans want to be business owners, right?
No, I say
They
so.
want
I
to
say
work.
so now
They
more than ever.
they want to work for themselves. This ideal is directly connected or associated with fortune and legacy, right?
Right.
For black boys growing up in urban America, low socioeconomical backgrounds, that inception for us is a package, whether it be $100 pack
Yeah.
or a quarter brick,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So you go off into this dangerous venture, hoping for the best, expecting the worst, and that's the game, the hustle, the grind, dealing, right?
Right.
A few months into this venture, and it starts at the age of 11, approximately to 14. A few months into this venture, you already a target.
Yeah.
You already got a target on your back. Law enforcement know you exist, and they know what you're doing in the community,
Yeah.
right?
Right. It's
So you
possible.
continue on this venture, and you become prosperous,
Right.
whatever that means, whatever your desires, your goals are, your dreams,
Right.
and but you got this target on your back. So there's this thing called the American justice system, who law enforcement is directly in association with,
Right.
right? So you know 'em, they got a picture of you, they know your name, they know what crop you come from, what bloodline you come from.
Hmm.
Soon as some drama hit, your name is caught up in that. Whether you initiated it or whether you just associated with somebody who initiated it, right?
Right.
So Now you have the conspiracy laws, and we know where the conspiracy laws come from, right? What their origins could be traced back to plantations.
Right.
If you knew somebody was going to try to run off, you might lose a foot
Right. Or you
because
might
you
lose your
didn't
life.
report that. Might lose your life because you didn't report that. So we come back to present day or the last 25, 30 years. The conspiracy laws. When the war on drugs started, it gave prosecutors across the nation, across the 50 states, the green light to operate with impunity and immunity
Right.
and the quest for whatever justice looked like moving into the 21st century.
Right.
And the objective was you take as many off the board as you can, and there's no consequences,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to make a point here.
Mhm.
The trap is a trap.
Right.
The game is over,
Oh, for sure.
right?
For sure.
The prisons is overcrowded,
Hmm.
and prosecutors, there's still no consequences for the withholding of favorable evidence, the suppression of exculpatory evidence,
Right.
the hiding of impeachment evidence. There's no consequences for that. So this is why I've reached my conclusion that the greatest form of currency is freedom. Because if you don't get caught up in the trap, the game, the courtrooms, you can have a better life.
Yeah. I'm listening.
You feel me?
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, like I don't think that is the justice system ever really been just, has it? Like even
Nah,
before they started prosecuting us as slaves or whatever, I don't even think it was just because look, that's how America got people here. They fled from prosecution in England and they came here
that's
and took,
true.
you see.
That
So I don't think that they
that is
thought it was
true.
just. So if they felt like it wasn't just, I don't think that they modeled their justice system off of a proper justice system, right? Because they modeled it off the justice system of England, and
Right,
that wasn't just as you ran from it, right? So you like,
right,
well, now we in power, and you are in power in your justice system with the same injustices that you ran from. You know what I mean? Like it's just not us. As long as it's not us now,
right,
you know what I mean? And that's
right,
like a lot of situations that we go through. As long as it's
right,
not
right,
me and mine's doing it, going through it, it don't really matter.
right. Clearly,
You know what I mean?
clearly. So it's still up for debate then. If you've done a lot of time, you will probably agree with me that the greatest form of currency is freedom. If you never saw the inside of a prison, never been behind a G wall, then you could successfully debate me.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
so I definitely enjoyed it. I can't wait to be able to change my perspective.
Right. Right.
You know,
See,
you
see,
know
see,
when you yeah. So
see how it
um,
is when you don't have when your freedom is not on the line, right? See which which
right,
uh which outcome is. I mean, which position
right.
is right. Right.
When juxtapose the positions and then make the decision again.
Right.
No doubt. My newest book, Love Ain't What You Say, It's What You Do. I tackle tough topics like that, the criminal justice system,
Yeah.
right and wrong, action versus inaction. Uh, and I truly believe that love is necessary. Uh, but anybody who reads this book is gonna probably think that I don't believe in love no more. But I do.
But
I
but
do, man.
that's
I
like
do believe, huh?
the theme, like a theme through the book, or that or they gonna
No,
base that off
I
the
just
title.
feel like I just feel like I like to show people I love them.
Right.
I don't like to tell people I love them. You know what I mean? Like when
Hmm.
I'm emotional, I'm probably in an emotional state when I be like, yo, I love you. You
Right.
know what I mean? And that's a good thing.
Right.
But I'm so stoic and so numb that sometimes when I hear it, I be like, yo, like you ain't show me nothing to
Okay.
validate
Right.
that statement.
Right.
But this is going to be an incredible, incredible book. I think this is the crossover moment. Um, you don't have people getting killed, losing their lives. You don't have the backstabbing. You have everyday people who have decided to side with unpopular people,
Right.
um, people who have been banished, amputated from society, and it's going to be an incredible book. I want to team up with Dage again,
Most definitely.
and bring this to the listeners, people who favor audiobook over traditional paperback.
Right.
And that's where we at with it, man. Any closing words from you?
I mean, you know the usual. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on all the social medias. You know, get those subscriber numbers up on the YouTube. Y'all looking at the videos, but y'all not subscribing. You know what I mean? So
Subscribe, man.
yeah,
You
subscribe.
supporting a good cause, man. Like,
Right.
you know,
And then when y'all subscribe, we could do
subscribe.
this live. We could start doing it live, and we could take your questions. And you could be in this debate with us next time, and share
That's a
your
fact.
points of view. You know what I mean?
That's a whole fact. That's a whole fact. I don't have $1 million worth of game, but I do have a priceless amount of jewels.
Yeah, sure. All right, and then we signing out. Then General Thoughts
Peace.
Podcast. Easy.
Peace. Peace. Peace.
All
That was
right.
good, man.
Yeah, for sure. Let me stop the phone.